Cardano has seen a lot of negative catalysts over the last couple of months, between Toncoin surpassing it in market cap, a lot of negative news dragging it down, and the overall crypto market just bringing altcoins down as well. But recently, there's been two major catalysts that are extremely bullish for Cardano's price that we need to talk about if you're a Cardano investor, or if you are even considering investing in Cardano. But first of all, we need to talk about what's going on in the overall crypto market, because if we're looking at the overall market, we're seeing that Bitcoin is trading right around $64,000 per coin, which is just below a very key level for Bitcoin of 64,500. Over the last couple of months, we've seen this level act as a very strong level of both support and resistance. And since we've been trading below it now for about 2 days, if we're not able to see Bitcoin break back above it on the daily chart, I'm very much expecting us to test these lower level supports of just around $60,000 per coin. So keep an eye out on this level over the next 24 to 48 hours, because if we're not able to break back above it, it is very likely that we're going to test those lower levels of around $60,000 per coin. But if we're looking at good news in terms of Bitcoin, we can see that recently there's been a lot of pretty positive developments. And that is that for Bitcoin, we have seen that now BlackRock and Fidelity own a combined $27 billion of Bitcoin. BlackRock has around $17.6 billion, and Fidelity is just about to cross that $10 billion mark. So while some people are coming out and saying, look, it's not really good for Bitcoin ETFs, we saw BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF snap a 71-day inflow streak. That's not good. But really, if you zoom out, you look at the overall big picture, in a matter of just 71 days, yes, they've had 1 day now of outflows, but the big picture is BlackRock and Fidelity now have $27 billion in assets under management for Bitcoin, when 71 days ago, they had zero. So having 1 day out of 71 days is pretty bullish, in my opinion, in terms of inflows versus outflows. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be in terms of BNY Mellon. BNY Mellon, one of the world's largest custodian banks with $46 trillion in assets under management, has recently reported in an SEC filing that they have exposure to Bitcoin. And in this filing, it says, it's a filing with the SEC. It's a Form 13F, and it says, look, they officially own Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and this is a very big deal because they're one of the oldest banks in the U.S. They are one of the largest in terms of assets under management with $46 trillion, and them having exposure to Bitcoin is a very, very big deal. Yes, they don't have billions of dollars in Bitcoin, but you got to start somewhere, and this is exactly what you want to see if you're a Bitcoin investor. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about what's been going on with altcoins, because if we're looking at altcoins, we can see that a project called Evercraft, it's a Polygon Matic based project. You guys know how bullish I am on Polygon Matic, and it recently just launched on MEXC back on April 22nd. It's a project that integrates advanced blockchain technology with real world applications, particularly focusing on like environmental sustainability. Recently, Evernest's collaboration with Constellation DAG has been very, very pivotal, because this partnership ultimately is aimed at enhancing the security and scalability of Evercraft's own blockchain infrastructure, the Metagraph, which is set to launch on the integration net in May of 2024, with a full launch on the Constellation mainnet just a month later. So this project is something that I'm extremely bullish on, because if you're looking at the roadmap, they've laid out a clear, ambitious plan, and starting in the fourth quarter of 2023, with the development of ECET, Metagraph began. Fast forward into 2024, we've seen major developments, including upgrades to their ACA systems and the start of an engineering project for a green energy initiative using LTC and ACA in Upper Austria. They've had their token launch, and then by June of 2024, they plan to make a significant shift from Polygon token to L0 standard and start building out carbon credit NFTs to local testnet. Moving forward into the future, we also see in August of 2024, they're set to be a groundbreaking month for the start of an engineering project in Montenegro, aiming at converting a 225 megawatt coal-fired power plant to CO2 neutrality. And then into 2025 and 2026, they have major plans for things going on in technology centers in Ried, Austria, other major coal-fired power plant conversions in June of 2026, and a lot more. So this project was such an extensive roadmap, an environmentally focused roadmap, focus on helping the environment long-term. It's not just creating a token, but it's building a sustainable future, and that's exactly what you want to see. So considering that they just launched a token, it's available on MEXC, I've doubled down on my position there. Next thing I want to go over is going to be what's been going on with Cardano. Cardano, another major altcoin, because recently there's been two major catalysts for Cardano. The first of which, there's only 35% of Cardano holders that are in the profit. And some people may say this is negative, but this is actually a major buying opportunity for Cardano holders and for investors, because if you're looking at Bitcoin, there's 86% of holders that are in the profit. Dogecoin and Ethereum have 83 and 81% respectively for holders in the profit. And historically, when holders are in the profit significantly, and there's a lot of holders in the profit, that usually presents a good opportunity to take profits. A lot of people, start to sell off their tokens when there are a lot of investors in that one particular project in the profit. So seeing that there's only 35% of Cardano investors in the profit and 61% of Cardano investors in the negative, that would mean that there's a lot more upside for Cardano than other altcoins out there, because there's that big disparity between, holders that are in the money and holders that are out of the money. So it presents, a potential undervaluation for ADA, as there's such a significant percentage of holders that are out of the money. In addition to this, we've also recently seen that there's been 25 billion Cardano tokens transferred in a matter of 24 hours. And this is a very big deal, because if you look further into on-chain data, there was a big spike in the number of large transactions, which usually signifies wallet movements from whales or institutional players, because you don't see that much ADA moving unless it's major institutions or whales. So the largest transaction volume, like peak, was at $27.67 billion just in the last few days and around the last week or so. And this is showing us that whales and institutions are moving Cardano. This presents, a major opportunity for investors, because it shows us, look, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that could be potentially really bullish. Seeing that there's a lot of, Cardano holders that aren't yet in the money, that also presents a major buying opportunity for people who may be in other tokens. They may be, looking to reallocate their positions, selling off some of their other positions that are in the money, and maybe buying some undervalued and underperforming coins like Cardano. So those two things are potentially extremely, extremely bullish. And last token I want to talk about is going to be what's been going on with ChainGPT, because with ChainGPT, they're currently one of my favorite AI cryptos for the 2024 bull market. And recently they launched CryptoGuard, which was an AI-powered browser extension. Recently, with this project and with this extension, it's very bullish in my opinion, because it has been able to help protect people against, tens of millions of dollars, which were lost in the last year due to cyber attacks, phishing attacks, and things like that. So phishing attacks have grown much more sophisticated. There were 83 incidents that cost users $64 million recently, and just in Q1 of 24. So with CryptoGuard, it protects you against that. And with ChainGPT's token being down significantly over the last couple of weeks with the recent correction in AI cryptos, I think presents a major opportunity. Right now, it's trading around 24 cents per token. At just about a month ago, when we saw AI cryptos at a high, it was around 50 cents per token. So there's nothing changing in terms of the fundamentals. ChainGPT has their launchpad, which has been extremely successful, and being at 24 cents per token, I've just been doubling down on this position as well.